allows us to go more than 45 minutes. You got it. Okay. So we just talked very briefly about designing and writing and interactivity in texts, and I'll repeat this on Thursday. But the program that we're going to use is this program called TiddlyWiki. And it's a very strange, odd little niche program that in all the years I've been tracking software is the purest form of hypertext that I've ever encountered. That's easy, modestly easy, relatively easy for newcomers to use. So it's frustrating, it's a little weird, it's rather particular like most programs are, but you stick with it and you can build some amazing things. And I think you'll be surprised over the next couple of weeks at how much you can really get going. So with that, hey, how you doing? That's all right. I haven't done anything. I knew that there'd be a few people coming in later because I could count that we were missing. So, so that's sort of the rough introduction. That's a little bit about who I am and where I've come from and how I've come to this class. So what I'd like to do is we have to figure out a way to make time marks. So, well, I don't know how we'll do that, but post or something. Yeah. Okay. But I just wanted to go around and get everybody's name and tell me, you know, what year you're in. If you're a brand new student, I think there's a bunch of brand new transfers and what your major is. And we'll just, we'll start with the red sweatshirt. I mean, you have to speak up, but because I'm deaf and there's a lot of noise going on in the room.
Well, I'm Amber and I'm a freshman.
Amber, okay.
I'm freshman here, and you want to know something?
What's your major?
Business.
Okay. Freshman business major. Okay. Why are you in this class? I mean, you're welcome, but.
Because I am thinking about taking up something in this field of major.
Okay, great. Welcome. Amber, I'll try to remember that.
My name is Elizabeth. I'm a junior in the IMGD program.
Are you a new transfer? No. Were you a CID major then when you came? You had to have been because we didn't have that major 2 years ago.
Oh, I started as a psych actually.
Oh, okay, great. Okay. I forgot your name already.
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth. Amber, Elizabeth, and?
Jillian.
Jillian.
I'm a junior. I transferred in last semester, and I'm in the video game design.
Okay. Amber, Elizabeth. See, it's like it leaves. Jillian.
My name's Andrew. I'm a junior. I'm part of the CS major. I'm a BSM.
Okay.
Michael Charette, readmit transfer from MBCC in interactive media and game design. And according to SUNY IT, I don't exist.
Pardon?
And according to SUNY, I don't exist.
Oh, so you didn't get my email?
I don't think so now.
Okay, but you're in the class. Good. Do you have a laptop? Yeah, so you want to get on the network, so I'll give you a couple minutes. Yeah. You might find a spot where you can see the screen, but that's up to you. Andrew? No, you're Andrew. What's your name again?
Michael.
Michael, and we're going back this way now.
Oh, okay. My name's Eric.
Eric.
New transfer. I graduated with my associates in computer science and taking game design.
Okay, great. You're James. So, go ahead.
But I go by
Mickey, okay.
I'm in the IMGD program too. I don't even know how many semesters.
Okay, good. And are you still waiting for that thing to boot up?
No, I got my laptop.
Okay, yeah, definitely need to, because you can't do much without it.
I'm Brandon. I just transferred in, and I'm in the game design program.
Okay,
I'm Ben. I'm also in the game design program. I'm in the transfer as well.
okay, good.
I'm Kashin. I'm
Say that name again?
Kashin, C-A-I-Ashan. I'm sophomore and I'm in computer science.
Okay, good.
I'm Marcus. I am a transfer student, and my major is communication design.
Okay,
I'm Ryan Mahar. I'm a CID major. I'm a junior.
I know you, Ryan.
Yeah.
You've been in my class before. We had lunch together lots of times.
Yep.
Great. So in Com 106, we have lunch every once in a while in the Student Center. Actually, that semester we did it like every Friday, right?
Yeah, we did.
That's cool.
We started to lose some of the class towards that.
Yeah. Oh, well. Well, nice to see you again, Ryan.
I'm Derek Smith. I'm CIE major.
I've seen you before too, haven't I? Yeah, Derek.
Megan Will. I'm a CID major and I'm a first semester senior.
My name is Tristan. I'm a transfer student. Last semester.
Okay. Do you have a machine with you today? A laptop? You might want a keyboard, but if you don't have, you can use one of the machines behind you.
I have a Bluetooth.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, I think it would.
I don't think I have that.
Yeah, it would kind of suck if you don't have a keyboard for the class.
I'm Ray Buckley. I'm a junior. I've been here 3 years, and I'm an interactive media design major.
Okay. No machine?
No, I'll have to.
Yeah, so go ahead and get that booted. They take forever to boot up. And names just leave my brain instantly. You might want to, whoever's sitting next to whoever just introduced you, yeah, you might want one of those machines. In the back, go ahead.
Michael, I used this tech in my fourth year of college, first year, transferred to CCS, but year one,
Okay, cool.
and fun fact, I don't have my laptop. Screen on it, broken, inches.
So yeah, today you'll be fine on these. And actually, I think I've got it set up so the whole semester will work. So, but yeah, and those machines take a long time to boot up. So if you're going to use one of the machines in the lab, when you walk in, just turn them on instantly. Okay, and what, junior? Yeah.
It'll be really easy for you to remember my name.
Steve.
I'm Steve.
Yes. But I won't remember which one of you is Steve, I guarantee you.
I'll try to make that pretty easy.
Okay.
I am a transfer student in the IMD program.
Okay, so we've got a bunch of transfers. So a bunch of people who are brand new to the college, welcome. And this is probably your first class, unless some of you are really brave and took the 8 a.m. classes. I think when I counted the other day of like 22, 24 students in this class, there's like 15, 16 or so that are IMGD. And so I'll sort of pitch part of what we do towards how we could use interactive text as a sort of platform for game design. Many of you, especially the IMGD and CID students, this class satisfies a requirement. You can do this or Com 106. And they're, I don't know why we did that, but they're not really equivalent, but they both work. And so you kind of need this class. And just to remind you, and you'll figure out that I'm not really big on grades. But you turn your stuff in, you'll be fine. But if it's going to count for your major, you have to get a C or better. Okay, so C- won't count for your major. You'll get the credits, but you still won't be able to graduate. So just remind me of that as you get. So okay. So we will spend a lot of time in doing reading and thinking and writing and all sorts of assignments, but none of that's going to work if we can't get the software to work. And so today we're going to focus on getting software to work. And if it works well the first time, then that'll be great, but it's never happened before, so I don't expect it to happen today. And so let me describe a little bit about Tiddlywiki, tell you a little bit about what it is and why it's a bit of a challenge. Okay. Tiddlywiki is, and computer science students might be familiar with this concept. Tiddlywiki is called a single page application. And so that means when you hit the web page, like if you went to designrightstudio.com, I hope you're all looking at that now, you downloaded the entire wiki. Just like whenever you go to a web page, you download the entire HTML page plus the page requisites, and it's sitting in your buffer. And because it's sitting in your computer's RAM and your memory, it's displaying on your screen. If you want to go to another page, you click a link. Hey, come on in. If you want to go to another page, you click a link, and then it downloads that page. Okay. The difference with TiddlyWiki, it's a single page application in SPA. The code to run the piece of software is embedded in the HTML file. So you don't go back to the server every time you want to do something. So we can change the page on the fly, we can do all sorts of stuff, and it takes a little bit to wrap your head around it. But it's an application that sits as an HTML page. Behind the HTML is a bunch of JavaScript. Any of you who know JavaScript will find that this is way cool. Even if you don't know JavaScript, you'll find, well, this is way cool, but I don't understand it. That's me. It's really cool, but I don't know any JavaScript, and I don't write any of the JavaScript. But there's a language that I can write that's sort of like programming. It's called Markdown. I can write code, and I can make a screen dance with HTML, do all sorts of things, menus and appears and hides and all sorts of really, what I think are really complicated moves without knowing any code. There's no server. There's no server out there. It's just, you don't go back and forth to the server. You can run a whole database and there's no server. Everything's in it. All right? Everything's in the file that you download. I first came across this program in 2006. I had just written a book with a co-author, and the publisher said, and this was relatively new then, we'll put some of your book up on the web. Okay, but we don't want the whole thing on the web, but we're going to put some of it on the web, but it has to be like PDFs, no server. You can't use our server. Well, we had spent a lot of time very carefully archiving these web pages that political candidates had produced. We had 250 of these footnotes with images, and we really wanted this interactive feel. And I finally discovered this thing, TiddlyWiki, which is a single page HTML. So as far as the publisher was concerned, it's like, HTML, yeah, we can handle that. And I said, okay, well, great, I've got a database. So I taught myself how to write this thing in TiddlyWiki in 2006. And I've been kind of on and off with it ever since. And about 3 or 4 years ago, I decided I was going to start teaching it seriously. And so I work on it a lot. And I kind of made a deal with myself. I just try to do almost everything in TiddlyWiki. So the other classes I've teach, I don't remember when I probably had a TiddlyWiki syllabus a couple years ago, maybe not, I can't remember. But my other classes use TiddlyWiki syllabus, and so because it keeps me connected to it. It's an open source program. It's free. And there's a pretty active, small but active community of support programmers and other people who use it, who share stuff on the Google group. And so I'll ask questions. Like I asked a question last night on the Google group at 11:30, and I got an answer. It was there when I woke up this morning. It's like, how do you do this? Like, this thing isn't working. And so, people give you a piece of code. And I've actually gone to a TiddlyWiki users group meeting in London over last summer, and it's pretty cool. A lot of Europeans, a lot of Germans for some reason, a lot of Europeans are kind of into it. We're not talking tens of thousands of people. We're talking tens of people. Maybe there's like 50 or 100 active users on the group, and we don't really know how many people around the world use it, but we'll use it in this class. And today I want to focus on getting you to have your own wiki. At the end of the class, if you walk out and you've got your own TiddlyWiki file that you can change and save and modify, the day will be a success. And you can come back on Thursday and we'll do some more. And so that's it. Lots of different words that we'll use. TiddlyWiki is the program. And today I'm going to show you how to get your own TiddlyWiki hosted on a service called TiddlySpot. Okay, so I'll just write that. So we're going to start by hosting on TiddlySpot. Eventually, those of you who want to can move your world. I think everybody's here, so I can put this in without anybody tripping. Yeah, if you go to the bathroom, just be really careful you don't mess my cord up. If you want to host this on your own server, on Dognet for CS majors, or anybody can actually get a Dognet account, or on the SUNY Poly website, we'll work on that. But today we're going to do the really simple thing Tiddly Spot, and if you just stay in Tiddly Spot for the whole semester, you'll be good. Okay, so I'm not going to talk a lot about the assignments, how the class is going to work, what the different exercises are, the readings, or any of that stuff, because I want to reserve all the time for getting you working in the software, and then from there we can go forward. So all that typical first day of class syllabus stuff, what happens if your assignments are late, all that stuff I'm going to leave for Thursday. So you'll just have to kind of go with it. Ready? Okay. Let me do a quick intro. If you opened up Design Right Studio, the first link under Recent, I think you probably opened under Contents. And if you click the Recent tab, the first link should be Workshop: Saving Serving New Tiddlers Text. And you'll see there's this big link that says View this Tiddler here with images, because if you scroll down, I swear to God, the thing worked last night. I came in this morning and my images are gone. And I couldn't figure it out that's what I was working on when you came in. I couldn't figure it out. So like all good hackers, I did a workaround and I just said, fine, I'll put it in another wiki. So I'm in another wiki now. So click on that first link and you'll get nice, pretty pictures. Everybody with me? You should be looking at this now. Okay. Quick navigational. And I'll stop anytime somebody's not with me. So if you're not with me, just let me know. I still see some screens that are not quite there. You're behind a link. Let me go back. When we design these rooms, this room was designed in 2147. Another classroom that the program uses was designed so that the instructor has visual of the screens. So I can't see anybody's faces when they're looking at, but I can see who's behind. Everybody who's sitting around the table, I can't see what's on your screen, so I just assume you're with me, okay? Just to get there, that was Design Right Studio. You click on Recent, the first link there takes you here, and View with Images, and you should be looking at something that's gray. Little TiddlyWiki navigation up in the, I lost my, that's right. Up in the upper right-hand corner, there's a little chevron, and if you linger over it, it will say hide the sidebar, and you click that, it will hide what's called the sidebar and expose the story window. And then there's a link that says, we're going to follow all of these steps. See those pretty pictures I made last night with the purple boxes? So we're going to do that. And I will try to go one step at a time. Those of you on Macs might find it helpful to download and use a program that I use called SizeUp, S-I-Z-E-U-P, SizeUp. And what SizeUp does is allows you to divide your screen in half perfectly. Those of you on Windows, this is one of the few features that Windows has that Mac doesn't have. You can just do that, but I don't know how, right? Just drop and drag and it positions it exactly on half. Yeah, we have to have a little plugin to do that. So we're going to go to that first link, and that way I can put it here. So now we've got both things side by side, and I think you'll find this is a useful way to work, right? Instructions on the left, thing you're doing on the right. Okay. So you should be seeing TiddlyWiki 5, version 5.1.14 on Tiddly Spot. This is one of these pieces of software, not TiddlyWiki, but this particular wiki that was written by one of these TiddlyWiki enthusiasts, and he's got a kind of a interesting way about him. He's a pretty cool guy. Some of his instructions are a little unclear, so we'll just follow through. So I'm going to suggest that when you create your Tiddly Spots, and you'll have many wikis over the course of the semester, you have to name them that they all begin with the word SUNY Poly. Okay, and so I'll do SUNY Poly hyphen, and then put your SITNET ID in there. Mine is Steve. That's because, by the way, when SUNY IT first got email, and I was here, like 91, they said my address was going to be F for faculty, SMS for my initials. So it was like FSMS, which I have a bit of a lisp, I guess. I can't say FSMS over the phone that anybody could ever understand. So I walked over to the guy named Jesse, said, "Hey, Jesse, why don't you make my name Steve?" He said, "Okay." So they did. And the other Steve on campus, Steve Perta, was just behind me. And now 25 years later, he's still whatever he is, but I'm still Steve. And so there's a few of us out there, Ron and Russ, that have those names, but you guys all have your first, what is it? Your first initial, the first 5 letters of your last name. It's some whatever, right? So yeah, but I'm Steve. And then for this, let's call it my first wiki. So it's SUNY Poly hyphen, you're sitting at AD hyphen my first wiki. Okay. And what I would do is highlight that and copy it to your buffer. Okay. We do a lot of copy paste. So those of you who are Mac or Windows, I highly suggest you download and install what's called a clipboard buffer. I use one called Jump Cut. Those are the last 100 things I've copied to my buffer. So I have easy access to that. You can see there's all sorts of little bits of code and stuff and passwords. Stay away too. That's a password. All sorts of things in there. And so you can do what's, instead of doing a copy paste back and forth through Windows, you can go copy, go to your window, paste. So I strongly suggest you download Jump Cut for the Mac, and I don't know what the Windows version of the buffer is. But anyway, you've copied SUNY Poly hyphen Steve, my first wiki, into your buffer because you're going to have to paste it 3 times. Okay, give it a password. I use what I think of as my junk password, the same password that's on all sorts of stupid sites that go for it. You can use it, whatever it is. And you have to type it again. Don't forget it, because believe it or not, it's not recoverable. TiddlyWikis are free, so if you forget your password, you just have to make a new one. And I'll show you how to, you don't lose it, but you just can't have access to it. If I were you, I'd use the same password for this class all semester. Don't make it your SitNet password. And don't make it a password that has money behind it, right? You need 3 passwords, one for school, one for money, and one for junk. So use your junk password. And then click the Create Wiki. And sure, you can save it. Okay. It says, click below to continue. Don't do that. Okay. Now we're fill in step 2. Load your Tiddly spot with TiddlyWiki 5. You can paste what was in your buffer and type your password yet again. And click load. And you should see starting to save wiki in the upper right-hand corner and save wiki.
We do standard.
Pardon?
We're doing a standard.
Oh, just ignore that. Doesn't matter. Yeah, thank you for that question. Yeah. I think it says that. Yeah. Flavor, disregard, since, yeah, blah, blah. Okay. Does this work for everybody so far? And you should have at the bottom on step 3 a link to it. And you can click on that, and it should look like this. Did anybody not get it? What happened to you?
It won't let me create with click it and
Did you type your password in the second time?
yeah.
Retype it. That's fine. I created my wiki. What do I do after I hit the create button?
Scroll down and get to this load button. And you got the instructions on the left. You're on step 2, right? Yeah, so press load.
That's not coming up on.
Scroll down.
If you're using Safari, how to get away from Safari?
Oh, yeah, use Chrome. Sorry. Chrome. Yeah.
Format on my junk.
It's not going to work on the iPads.
Yeah, you need a real computer.
Chrome or Firefox?
Pardon? Yeah, right in front of you. Use that one. No, I mean we got them in the labs for. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, I don't think you can read stuff on a tablet. I don't know about. I'm not. I'm going to basically in the class. I should have mentioned this before. I'm going to support Chrome, and that's about it. Firefox is really funky this week. It's just like the version 57, the latest version of Firefox is just almost killed TiddlyWiki. Basically what we're doing is we're using the browser as an editor, and we're writing in a browser and we're saving files. So it's just, and they've locked that capability down. So yeah. Yeah, you can try. It should work. The Tiddly Spot will work in Firefox.
It's just the step 3.
Step 3, yeah. Can you do Chrome? Do you have Chrome there, or you don't have it?
I do.
Yeah. So step to Chrome. And then you should click on that, and you should see this. Congrats. And then you have to type your password. Okay. On the left, you have your instructions. Yep. Yep. Okay. So I'm going to just move on to the congrats page, and you can follow the instructions and go ahead if you'd like, but you want to give your site name, My First Wiki. Your site title is your SITNet ID, and your sign, just put your name. And then you type your password one more time and click Save Settings. And hopefully you end up with this. Okay. So I'll go back. Should I do that whole thing again?
Yes, please.
Yep. Yeah. And you can fix any of these. I'm going to go back to the beginning, and I'm just going to reload tiddlywiki5.tiddlyspot.com. So I'm going to start here again. It's not going to let me create my first wiki again under SUNY Poly Steve. So I'm going to go SUNY Poly Steve, and I'm XYZ. I think I'm up to 6. I did this 5 times last night, so I think I'm on 6. And if you ask for a site ID that's taken, it will say you can't have it. I'm going to go same password and create wiki. Okay. Elizabeth? Wow, I got it. Did you get past this step?
I wish I would have Chrome to say something with that, but do you have any idea why it keeps cutting it off like that? Because it was doing it on Edge, so I switched.
Is that a Chromebook?
No, it's a Surface.
Oh, it's a Surface. No. Does it work?
I couldn't get to the setting. Yeah, where you're supposed to click on the control panel thing.
Oh, you're a little past where I am right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We can figure that out. Yeah. Is anybody not gone past step 1? Or you're still waiting for your machine to boot up, right? Yeah. You're still waiting for the machine to boot up? Yeah. Use another one. Okay. Yeah.
It's still only 3.
So you're stuck in step 1?
Yeah. I can put in the ID and the password, and you won't have to click on anything else on the page.
So you're here, right?
Yeah.
And you put in the ID and the password. And you typed your password.
Yep.
And when you hit create wiki,
Yeah,
nothing happens.
It doesn't let me touch it.
Maybe it doesn't let you click it. When you linger over it, does it give you the
No, it's like a solid page.
browser?
Chrome.
What's the operating system?
Windows 10.
Yeah, you might as well drop the class. If you can't make it past here, it's over.
Unless the passwords aren't matching up.
Try, so in Chrome, you can refresh the page. You've done that several times? You have another browser? Try Firefox. Or it might work with Edge. Try that. Anybody else? Everybody sitting here? Everybody else sitting here? Hmm? You're good?
You read it there?
On the right.
Yeah.
You should say my first wiki and have nothing else on your screen.
Yeah.
Everybody there except,
That's just a sidebar, right?
yeah. Yeah, there's nothing there because it's comes really strange. I don't really like the way that it delivers, but fine. Okay. James, you want to help Derek? Derek is yellow hat, I think, right, Derek? He's stuck. The others who are waiting for machines and passwords, I can't help you with that. I'm going to move on. Derek, you will catch up. I have faith. Okay. Little bit more wiki world. This is the hide the sidebar. There's 3 buttons here on the toolbar, plus sign, the wheel, and the checkbox. Click the wheel, open the control panel, okay, and you should see plugins. This guy, Matt Twaddle, I don't know his real name, his handle is Twaddle. For some reason, he put this crazy plugin that I don't like. So we're going to disable it, okay, and I've got those instructions. Click on the sidebar editor, side editor, and click disable. And should go yellow. And then click on the close Tiddler button, which is this X. Okay, these buttons you're going to come to know and love. More info, edit this Tiddler, close this, and we're getting rid of this sidebar editor. Click on the X. Okay. And now we're on step 5. Click on the info tab, which is here. And it looks like I already have the title. Oh, right. We have to change the default Tiddlers. And in TiddlyWiki, capitalization counts a lot for everything. Okay, we're going to write my first wiki is the name of a Tiddler. These words will autocorrect in your phone to toddler, but you'll get used to it. Like my toddler won't work. It's a Tiddler. And Tiddler names are written using what's called camel case. Okay, so camel case, my first wiki is written in camel case, and it's a 3-humped camel. The M is capital, the F is capital, and the W is capital. So hump, hump, hump. And when they're strung together, you'll see that that will make a link. So write it in camel case. Don't mess with spaces. Just starting on Thursday, you can do whatever you want. Today, just do exactly as I say, and we'll all be happy. Close the Tiddler on the control panel. You should see this button should be red. Okay, that means it's not saved, which is okay. Because we're going to do something that's going to force a save, but you can also click on it if you really want to save it. But right now we're going to create, this is an auspicious moment. Everybody take a breath, get excited. You're going to build your first Tiddler. So you click the plus sign, create a new Tiddler. And we're looking at a new Tiddler. The first box across the top where it says new Tiddler highlighted in blue is the Tiddler title. And we want to call that my first wiki, written in camel case, no spaces. Okay, tag name, we're going to skip till next class. All those boxes, all that stuff, we're going to skip till next class where it says type the text for this Tiddler. That's the field called text. That's the text of the Tiddler. And we're going to do the classic hello world. Okay, if you've ever taken a programming class, everybody starts with getting your computer to say hello world. Tiddly usually says hello there, but we're going to do hello world. Okay, and then in the upper right hand corner of the Tiddler, notice if you think about it, a tiddler is really a page, but it's an object. Okay, so there's TiddlyWikis are made up of tiddlers. We're going to click on the checkbox, which saves the tiddler. And you should have seen the little yellow things in the upper right-hand corner that said saving and saved. The thing saved, that's cool. And now you can, in the browser, not in the wiki, in your browser, you can refresh it, which will reload it. And remember when we set the default tiddler to my first wiki? That's my first wiki. That's your default tiddler. So now when you open your wiki, it should say my first wiki. Anybody successful? Raise your hand if you're successful. All right, class dismissed. We're done. Okay, we got to make sure that everybody is here. And this is where I want to, we'll do a little bit more today, but I want to make sure that everybody ends up here. Lots of people who's not here. I'm going to let everybody catch up. While we're waiting, and we're not waiting, it's fine. Today we're going to be very slow. You can visit in another, I'm sorry, let me highlight that URL. That's the URL for your wiki, okay? It's a page, it's there. Mine was called steve-suni-steve-myfirstwiki.tiddlyspot.com. It's a web page. You just built the web page. It's being served out on the web. Not so cool, but it's pretty cool. If you go to tiddlywiki.com, the textbook for the class, essentially, browse through that, read a little bit about that, click on things, get a feel for how it works, and we'll spend, it's 10:43, we'll spend till like 11 letting you explore TiddlyWiki, going back to my first wiki. You can expose the sidebar. I'm going to make this full screen. You can create new tiddlers. You can look in my TiddlyWiki, look at a little bit of learning, teach yourself how to build a link, play with tags, just play for a few minutes while everybody else catches up, and make sure that everybody can be here before I go forward, okay? So I'm gonna stop, we'll just stop the recording and then we'll continue.